Let's start with the pre-trip planning. Given that Norway is one of the most expensive countries in the world, how important is budgeting for a 7-day trip, and what are some key budget considerations that travelers should keep in mind?
Budgeting for a 7-day trip to Norway is absolutely crucial, given its reputation as one of the most expensive countries in the world. Let's break down some key considerations to help you plan your trip effectively. First off, accommodation is a significant expense. You can expect to pay around 200 NOK, approximately 75 to 130 USD per night for a budget hotel or a private hostel room. For those on a tighter budget, hostel dorms are an option at about 300 NOK, 30 USDs per night. Food is another major cost. Eating out can range from 110 to 400 NOK, $12 to $45 per meal, but buying groceries can be more economical with a weekly grocery budget of around 725 NOK, 80 US. Transportation is also a key factor. Trains are a comfortable and relatively affordable way to get around, with prices starting from around 290 NOK, 30 USD for a 6.5-hour trip from Oslo to Bergen. Booking train tickets in advance can save you up to 50% of the cost. Activities and entrance fees can add up quickly. For example, a museum visit can cost around 100 to 150 NOK, 11 to 17s in dollars, but using a city tourism card like the Oslo Pass can help you save money by including access to multiple attractions and public transportation. Lastly, consider your lifestyle choices during the trip. If you're looking to save money, opt for free activities like hiking, which Norway offers in abundance. You can also use services like couchsurfing for free accommodation or take advantage of Norway's free public camping laws. By planning ahead, booking in advance, and making smart choices on accommodation, food, and activities, you can significantly reduce your expenses and enjoy a wonderful 7-day trip to Norway without breaking the bank.
Given the importance of budgeting and the various costs involved, let's discuss the transportation options in more detail. What are the pros and cons of using public transportation versus renting a car for a 7-day trip in Norway?
When it comes to transportation in Norway for a 7-day trip, you have two main options: using public transportation or renting a car. Let's dive into the pros and cons of each. Using public transportation, particularly the train network, is highly convenient and relatively affordable. Trains in Norway are comfortable and efficient, with routes covering many major destinations. For example, a trip from Oslo to Bergen can cost as little as 290 NOK, 30, if you book in advance, which can save you up to 50% of the cost. Public transportation also includes buses and ferries, which are well integrated into the system. The key advantage here is that you don't have to worry about driving, especially on Norway's sometimes challenging roads. However, public transportation might limit your flexibility in terms of itinerary and spontaneity. You'll need to adhere to schedules, and some rural areas might have less frequent services. On the other hand, renting a car offers a lot of freedom. You can stop at any viewpoint, take your time, and explore remote areas that public transportation might not cover. Driving in Norway is generally a pleasure, with scenic routes and well-maintained roads. For instance, if you're planning to explore the fjords or go on a road trip, having a car can be invaluable. The downsides of renting a car include higher costs, as you'll need to factor in the rental fee, gas, and potential parking fees. For a 7-day trip, the total cost of renting a car and fuel can add up significantly, potentially reaching around 9,247 $960 USD per person, including fuel costs. Ultimately, the choice between public transportation and renting a car depends on your travel style and priorities. If you value flexibility and the ability to explore off-the-beaten-path destinations, renting a car might be the way to go. However, if you're on a tighter budget and prefer the convenience of not having to drive, public transportation is a reliable and cost-effective option.
Let's move on to the key destinations in Norway. Starting with Oslo, what are some must-see attractions that our listeners shouldn't miss, and what tips do you have for exploring the city effectively?
When it comes to Oslo, there are several must-see attractions that you shouldn't miss. First and foremost, the Oslo Opera House is a stunning piece of architecture that offers guided tours, and it's free to walk on the roof for some fantastic city views. Another key attraction is the Vigeland Sculpture Park, which is home to over 200 sculptures by Gustav Vigeland. This park is completely free to visit and is a great place to spend an afternoon. For history and culture enthusiasts, the Viking Ship Museum is a must-visit. It houses some of the best-preserved Viking ships in the world, and the entrance fee is around 150 NOK, 11 to 17 USD. To explore the city effectively, I highly recommend getting an Oslo pass. This pass includes access to over 30 museums, unlimited free travel on public transport, and entrance to several walking tours and public baths. It's a great way to save money if you plan on visiting multiple attractions. Additionally, consider walking or using public transportation to get around the city. Oslo is relatively compact, and many of its main attractions are within walking distance or easily accessible by bus or metro. For those looking to save even more, take advantage of the free public Wi-Fi available in many cafes and public spaces, and opt for buying groceries instead of eating out for every meal. A weekly grocery budget of around 725 NOK, 80 USDs, can be quite economical. Overall, Oslo is a city that blends history, culture, and modern architecture beautifully, and with some smart planning, you can enjoy it without breaking the bank.
Let's move on to Bergen, often referred to as the gateway to the fjords. What are some of the highlights and must-see attractions in Bergen, and how can our listeners make the most of their time there?
Bergen is a fantastic destination, often called the gateway to the fjords, and it has a lot to offer. One of the must-see attractions in Bergen is the Bryggen Wharf, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This historic harbor area is filled with colorful wooden houses and offers a glimpse into Bergen's rich trading history. It's free to walk around and explore, making it a great activity for all budgets. Another highlight is the Flom Railway. Although it's technically a bit outside of Bergen, it's easily accessible by train or bus. This railway is known as one of the most beautiful train rides in the world, taking you through stunning fjord landscapes and picturesque villages. For those interested in nature, Mount Fløyen is a must-visit. You can take the Fløyen funicular to the top for panoramic views of the city and the surrounding fjords. The funicular ride itself is around 85 NO for a round trip, which is quite reasonable. To make the most of your time in Bergen, consider purchasing a Bergen card, similar to the Oslo Pass. This card provides free or discounted entry to many attractions, public transportation, and even some guided tours. It's a great way to save money if you plan on visiting multiple sites. Additionally, Bergen is a city that's easy to explore on foot, so walking around the city center can be a great way to discover its charm. Don't miss the fish market, where you can sample local seafood and other delicacies. Overall, Bergen is a city that seamlessly blends history, culture, and natural beauty, making it a perfect stop on your 7-day Norway trip. With some smart planning and the right passes, you can enjoy all it has to offer without overspending.
Let's move on to some of the other scenic destinations in Norway. What makes Ålesund, Geiranger, Trollstigen, and Lovatnet so unique and must-visit places for anyone on a 7-day trip?
When it comes to other scenic destinations in Norway, each of these places offers a unique experience that makes them must-visit spots for your 7-day trip. Ålesund, for instance, is known for its Art Nouveau architecture, which is a result of the town being rebuilt after a fire in 1904. The town's unique buildings, with their intricate details and ornate facades, make it a visually stunning place to explore. Additionally, Ålesund is a great base for outdoor activities such as hiking and kayaking, and it's close to the Geiranger Fjord, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Geiranger is another gem, often referred to as one of the most beautiful fjords in the world. The Geiranger Fjord is surrounded by towering mountains and waterfalls, making it a breathtaking sight. You can take a boat tour on the fjord or drive along the scenic roads that offer stunning views. The Lone Skylift, which we mentioned earlier, is also nearby and provides panoramic views of the fjord and surrounding landscape. Trollstigen, or the Troll's Ladder, is a scenic drive that you shouldn't miss. This mountain road is known for its steep incline and 11 hairpin bends, offering spectacular views of the valley below and the surrounding mountains. It's a great spot for photography and is part of the Golden Route, a popular driving route in Norway. Lovatnet, a serene and picturesque valley, is another hidden gem. It's known for its tranquil lake and the stunning mountain scenery. This area is perfect for hiking and offers a peaceful retreat from the hustle and bustle of city life. The valley is also home to the famous Lovatnet landslide, which is an interesting geological feature to explore. Each of these destinations offers a unique blend of natural beauty, cultural significance, and outdoor activities that make them essential stops on your 7-day Norway trip. By incorporating these places into your itinerary, you'll get a well-rounded experience of what Norway has to offer.
Let's dive into a sample 7-day itinerary for Norway. Can you walk us through a typical day-by-day breakdown of a road trip or travel plan that includes these scenic destinations we've discussed and how travelers can customize it to fit their interests?
To create a memorable and budget-friendly 7-day itinerary for Norway, here's a day-by-day breakdown that incorporates the scenic destinations we've discussed. Day 1. Arrival in Oslo. Arrive in Oslo and check into your accommodation. Spend the day exploring the city, starting with the Oslo Opera House and Vigeland Sculpture Park, both of which are free to visit. Use the Oslo Pass to save money on public transportation and entrance fees to attractions like the Viking ship museum. Day 2. Oslo to Flåm. Take the train from Oslo to Myrdal, then transfer to the Flåm Railway, one of the most beautiful train rides in the world. Check into your accommodation in Flåm and spend the afternoon exploring the village and its surroundings. Consider a fjord cruise or a hike in the area. Day 3. Flåm to Geiranger. Drive to Geiranger, stopping at scenic viewpoints and waterfalls along the way. Take a boat tour on the Geiranger Fjord and enjoy the breathtaking scenery. Visit the Lone Skylift for panoramic views of the fjord. Day 4. Geiranger to Ålesund. Drive to Ålesund, known for its Art Nouveau architecture. Explore the town, visit the Oxla viewpoint, and consider hiking or kayaking in the nearby areas. Day 5. Ålesund to Trollstigen. Drive along the Golden Route to Trollstigen, taking in the stunning mountain scenery and stopping at viewpoints. This scenic drive includes the famous Troll's Ladder with its 11 hairpin bends. Day 6. Trollstigen to Bergen. Drive to Bergen, stopping at Lovatnet Valley for a peaceful retreat and some hiking. In Bergen, explore the Bryggen Wharf, take the Fløyen funicular for panoramic views, and visit the fish market. Day 7. Departure from Bergen. Spend the morning shopping for souvenirs or visiting any last-minute attractions. Depart from Bergen reflecting on the incredible natural beauty and cultural experiences you've had over the past week. Customization tips. For those who prefer public transportation, replace the driving segments with train and bus routes, which are well-connected and efficient. If you're interested in more outdoor activities, consider adding extra days in places like Geiranger or Ålesund for hiking, kayaking, or other adventures. To save money, opt for accommodation options like hostels or camping, and cook your own meals instead of eating out. Use city tourism cards, like the Oslo Pass or Bergen card, to save on attractions and public transportation. By following this itinerary, you can experience the best of Norway's natural beauty, culture, and history while keeping your expenses manageable.
Given the scenic drives and various transportation options, what are some of the best outdoor activities and experiences, such as hiking, camping, or fjord cruises, that our listeners should consider incorporating into their 7-day itinerary in Norway?
When it comes to outdoor activities and experiences in Norway, there are plenty of options that can enhance your 7-day itinerary significantly. For hiking enthusiasts, Norway offers some of the most breathtaking trails. You can hike from almost any city, and many of these hikes are free. For example, if you're in the Flåm area, consider hiking to the Stegestein viewpoint or the Orlandsfjellet mountain road for stunning views of the fjords and surrounding mountains. Camping is another great way to experience Norway's outdoors. With free public camping laws, you can wild camp in many areas as long as you are quiet and respectful. This can be a fantastic way to save money and get closer to nature. Fjord cruises are a must-do in Norway. Whether you take a short cruise in Oslo Fjord or a more extensive one in Geiranger Fjord, these cruises offer breathtaking views of the fjords and surrounding landscapes. For instance, a 2-hour sightseeing cruise in Oslo Fjord costs around €36 and is a great way to see the city's islands and colorful houses. If you're looking for something more adventurous, consider activities like kayaking or cycling. Ålesund is a great base for these activities with its proximity to the Geiranger Fjord and other scenic areas. The Loen Skylift in Geiranger is another highlight, offering panoramic views of the fjord and surrounding mountains. It's a bit of an investment at 440 kr per person, but it's definitely worth it for the views. Lastly, don't miss the opportunity to explore the scenic drives such as the Golden Route to Trollstigen. This drive is not just about the destination but also about the journey, with its stunning mountain scenery and hairpin bends. By incorporating these outdoor activities into your itinerary, you'll get a well-rounded experience of Norway's natural beauty and culture, making your 7-day trip truly unforgettable.
Given the variety of outdoor activities and scenic experiences you've mentioned, what are some practical tips for navigating Norway, especially for first-time visitors, to ensure they make the most of their time and stay safe while exploring?
Navigating Norway, especially for first-time visitors, can be quite straightforward if you keep a few practical tips in mind. First, make sure to plan ahead and book your accommodations, transportation, and activities in advance, especially during peak season. This can help you save money and ensure availability, as popular spots can get booked quickly. When it comes to transportation, using the Vi app for train bookings or checking schedules for buses and ferries can be very helpful. For those renting a car, be aware that driving in Norway can be challenging, especially on mountain roads like Trollstigen, so make sure to check the weather forecast and road conditions before you head out. For outdoor activities, always check the weather and trail conditions before heading out on a hike or any other adventure. Norway's weather can be unpredictable, so it's essential to be prepared with the right gear and clothing. Safety is also a key consideration. When hiking or engaging in other outdoor activities, let someone know your itinerary and estimated return time. Additionally, respect Norway's nature and follow the principles of friluftsliv, which emphasizes leaving the environment as you found it. Using city tourism cards like the Oslo Pass or Bergen card can simplify your travel by including public transportation and entrance fees to many attractions, making it easier to get around and save money. Finally, don't hesitate to ask locals for advice or directions. Norwegians are generally very friendly and helpful, and they can provide valuable insights into the best places to visit and how to make the most of your time. By being prepared, planning ahead, and respecting the local environment, you can ensure a safe and enjoyable trip to Norway.
Given the emphasis on planning ahead and respecting the local environment, what are some local customs or traditions that visitors should be aware of to enhance their experience and show respect for Norwegian culture?
When visiting Norway, being aware of local customs and traditions can significantly enhance your experience and show respect for the culture. One of the most important aspects is the concept of friluftsliv, which emphasizes a deep connection with nature and the importance of leaving the environment as you found it. This means respecting hiking trails, not littering, and being mindful of your impact on the natural surroundings. Norwegians also place a high value on punctuality and reliability. If you're meeting locals or using public transportation, make sure to be on time, as tardiness is generally frowned upon. Additionally, the concept of janteloven, or the law of jante, is deeply ingrained in Norwegian culture, which promotes humility and equality. Avoid boasting or drawing too much attention to yourself, as this can be seen as impolite. In social interactions, Norwegians tend to be reserved at first, but warm up quickly once you get to know them. Learning a few basic Norwegian phrases like hey, hello, takk, thank you, and ja, nei, yes, no, can go a long way in showing respect and appreciation for the culture. When dining, it's customary to wait for the host to invite you to sit down and start eating. Table manners are similar to those in other Western countries, but it's worth noting that mealtimes are often seen as opportunities for socializing and enjoying each other's company. By respecting these customs and traditions, you can have a more authentic and enjoyable experience in Norway, and the locals are likely to appreciate your efforts to understand and respect their culture.
Given the emphasis on respecting local customs and the environment, how can our listeners make the most of their interactions with locals And are there any specific festivals or events that they should consider attending to immerse themselves in Norwegian culture?
Interacting with locals in Norway can be a rewarding experience, especially if you show respect for their culture and customs. One of the best ways to connect with locals is through shared activities or interests. For instance, if you're hiking or engaging in other outdoor activities, you might meet fellow hikers or nature enthusiasts who can share tips and stories about the area. Learning a few basic Norwegian phrases can also go a long way. Saying hey, hello, takk, thank you, and ja, nei, yes, no, can make a positive impression and show that you're interested in the culture. When it comes to festivals and events, Norway has a rich calendar that can offer a deep dive into the local culture. For example, the Bergen International Festival, which usually takes place in May and June, is a significant cultural event that features music, theater, and dance performances. Another notable event is the Oslo World Music Festival, which celebrates global music and cultural diversity. In the winter, the Tromsø International Film Festival is a great event to attend if you're interested in film and northern lights sightings. Additionally, the midsummer celebrations, known as St. Hans or Jansak, are unique and colorful, with bonfires, singing, and traditional foods. Attending local markets, such as the fish market in Bergen, can also provide a taste of everyday Norwegian life. Here, you can sample local seafood, cheeses, and other delicacies while interacting with vendors and locals. By participating in these events and showing genuine interest in Norwegian culture, you can create meaningful connections with the people you meet and have a more immersive and enriching experience during your trip.
Given the rich cultural events and festivals you mentioned, how can our listeners find out about these events in advance to plan their trip accordingly? And are there any specific resources or websites they should use to stay updated?
To find out about cultural events and festivals in Norway in advance, there are several resources and websites that can be incredibly helpful. First, the official tourism website for Norway, Visit Norway, is a great place to start. They have a comprehensive calendar of events and festivals happening throughout the year, including details on dates, locations, and what to expect. Another useful resource is the local tourism boards for cities like Oslo and Bergen. For example, the Oslo Tourism Board and the Bergen Tourism Board often list upcoming events and festivals on their websites, along with practical information on how to attend. Social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram can also be valuable tools. Many event organizers and local tourism boards have social media accounts where they post updates and announcements about upcoming events. Additionally, consider subscribing to newsletters from these tourism boards or event organizers to get regular updates directly in your inbox. For specific festivals such as the Bergen International Festival or the Oslo World Music Festival, visiting their official websites will provide you with detailed information on schedules, ticket prices, and how to participate. Local newspapers and event calendars, both online and in print, are also good sources of information. For instance, the Norwegian newspaper Aftenposten often has a section dedicated to upcoming events and cultural activities. By using these resources, you can plan your trip to coincide with the events and festivals that interest you the most, ensuring a rich and culturally immersive experience in Norway.
Given the variety of outdoor activities and scenic experiences you've mentioned, what are some of the best ways for our listeners to stay safe while hiking or engaging in other adventurous activities in Norway's sometimes unpredictable weather?
When it comes to staying safe while hiking or engaging in other adventurous activities in Norway's sometimes unpredictable weather, there are several key considerations to keep in mind. First and foremost, always check the weather forecast before you head out. Norway's weather can be quite unpredictable, so it's crucial to be prepared for sudden changes. Websites like the Norwegian Meteorological Institute or local tourism boards often provide up-to-date weather forecasts and warnings. Make sure you have the right gear and clothing. This includes waterproof jackets, sturdy hiking boots, and layers for changing temperatures. It's also a good idea to bring a map, compass, and a GPS device or a smartphone with a GPS app, especially if you're venturing into remote areas. Let someone know your itinerary and estimated return time. This way, if something goes wrong, Someone will be aware of your plans and can alert authorities if necessary. Respect the terrain and your own limitations. Norway's landscapes can be challenging with steep cliffs, fast-flowing rivers, and slippery trails. Be cautious and don't take unnecessary risks. Use marked trails and follow local guidelines. Many hiking trails in Norway are well marked, and following these trails can help you avoid dangerous areas. Finally, consider joining a guided tour or hiking group, especially if you're new to hiking in Norway. Guides are knowledgeable about the terrain, weather conditions, and potential hazards, and they can provide valuable insights and ensure your safety. By being prepared, respecting the environment, and taking necessary precautions, you can enjoy Norway's beautiful outdoors while staying safe. Remember, safety should always be your top priority when engaging in adventurous activities.
Given the array of resources and apps you've mentioned for staying safe and informed, how can our listeners ensure they have reliable internet access or alternative methods for accessing this critical information, especially in more remote areas of Norway?
Ensuring reliable internet access in Norway, especially in more remote areas, can be a bit challenging, but there are several strategies to help you stay connected and informed. First, consider purchasing a local SIM card or a prepaid data plan from a Norwegian provider like Telenor, Telia, or Lyse. These plans often include generous data allowances and can be more cost-effective than relying on international roaming. Many shops and kiosks at airports and city centers sell these SIM cards, making it easy to get set up quickly. For those who prefer not to change their SIM card, many cafes, restaurants, and public spaces in Norway offer free Wi-Fi. This can be a good backup option, especially in urban areas like Oslo and Bergen. In more remote areas, internet access might be limited, so it's a good idea to download essential information and maps beforehand. Apps like year.no for weather forecasts and ut.no for hiking trails often allow you to download data for offline use, which can be a lifesaver when you're out of range. Additionally, some hotels and lodges, even in remote areas, provide Wi-Fi access, so it's always a good idea to check with your accommodation provider. If you're planning to venture deep into the wilderness, consider investing in a portable Wi-Fi hotspot or a satellite phone, especially if you're going to be completely off-grid for an extended period. By combining these methods, you can ensure you have reliable access to critical information, even in Norway's more remote and beautiful areas.
Given the importance of staying connected, especially in remote areas, what are some essential apps or resources that our listeners should download before their trip to ensure they have the necessary information even when offline?
To ensure you have the necessary information even when offline, there are several essential apps and resources you should download before your trip to Norway. First, download the year.no app from the Norwegian Meteorological Institute for weather forecasts. This app allows you to download weather data for offline use, which is crucial for planning your outdoor activities, especially in areas with limited internet access. The DNT, Den Norske Turistforening, app is another must-have for hikers and outdoor enthusiasts. It provides detailed maps, trail conditions, and other useful information that can be downloaded for offline use. For navigation, consider downloading the Google Maps app and saving the maps of the areas you plan to visit for offline use. This way, you can still navigate even without internet. The UT-No app, also managed by DNT, offers comprehensive information on hiking trails, including maps, difficulty levels, and current conditions, all of which can be accessed offline. If you plan on using public transportation, the VI app is useful for booking train tickets and accessing schedules, and some of this information can be saved for offline use. Additionally, downloading offline maps and guides from resources like Visit Norway or local tourism boards can provide valuable information on attractions, restaurants, and other points of interest. By downloading these apps and resources, you'll be well prepared to handle any situation, even in remote areas with limited internet access, ensuring a safe and enjoyable trip to Norway.
Thank you for tuning in to Chatbotcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it engaging. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update, and visit us at www.chatbotcasts.com to explore more exciting episodes. See you next time, and happy listening.